your boy Animal. Just want to welcome you to the channel, and thank you to all the people that's been supporting, all the new subscribers, welcome. All the people that's been sharing. You know, the channel's getting a bigger audience now, and my goal is not just to show you my beats, but also show you some tips and tricks along the way. And with that, basically what I'm going to be doing is changing my tutorials and tips to a Tuesday, so it'll be called Tutorial Tuesdays. And very shortly after that, I'll be doing a feedback or review on your songs. Recently I've had a lot of requests for different tips and tricks, a lot of people asking for review of beats, so I wanted to separate that, and I think in the future we're just going to keep Sundays to some live cook-ups on beats, and separate the tutorials. So I really appreciate everybody who's reached out, you know, asking about beats and tips and tricks. So yeah, thank you to you guys, definitely. My tip of the week this week is, you might find it odd, but for the producers out there, when you're making your music, one thing I found is if you are always listening to your track on repeat, you might end up losing that creativity. So what I would suggest is only play the beat when you're working on it. So sometimes I know we like to just listen back to our beat over and over, but I think that's more for when you're doing final tweaks. When you're actually producing the beat, I would say only listen to it when you're adding elements. Once you've added one element to it, move on to the next element. So that'll definitely help your workflow, especially when you're mixing and mastering. If you're listening to it over and over, I was in the studio till quite late last night, and I just got to a point where I was adding loads of effects or changing things, and it's more because you get like listening fatigue, so you can't stand that sound for a while, so you end up changing it for something that you think is better, but it's just different. So once you start getting to that point where you're thinking, oh, it's just not sounding, or it's on repeat, just turn it off, open a new project or come back to it later, but definitely give your ears a rest from the project, and come back to it fresh, and then you will be able to you know, have some new ideas and things like that. So I'm gonna keep this one short with just another beat that I made a few days ago, and I just wanted to share with you guys. So let me load this one up. Hopefully I'll load the right one now. I've changed the layout as well for you guys, so you can see what I'm doing a bit better, hopefully. So for those of you who don't really use Fruity Loops, this is your step sequencer where you program your beats mainly. You can put sounds in here and program, but it's more so for your drum loops. Once you make your patterns, which are here, you then put your patterns in this playlist and create your composition. You also have got, these are your patterns here, which you can tell by this little keyboard icon. You've got your audio files, which are in the playlist, so you can select them, and this is all your automation clips that's in there. So as you can see on this one, I've used quite a bit of automation, and I just wanted to get used to using those in the best way, to use the automation again. So let's just expand that so you can see a bit of waveform. Right, so without further ado, let's get into it. like this drop coming up here. So this would be like your hook. And then we're gonna bring it back into the verse after this 4 bars. I also like the bit where everything goes down and we just got the melody, slight bit of percussion in the background. Just tried messing around with different loop patterns. I've been finding that when you're working with these loops, it's not all about just placing them on there. As I said before, chop them up, you know, change them up if you want, pitch them. Back into the hook. As you can see, the mixer's quite busy as well on this one. I've used this view so you can see all the channels because I've had to compress the mixer. I just realized you're not seeing nothing on the screen. Okay, let me bring this back one. Will you see it now? Yeah, there we go. So this is the view I normally use, and the reason I like using this view, let me just turn the track down a bit. So if you want to access this view, I use this extra large one here. And the reason I use this one is because it tells me if I scroll through the tracks. As you can see, I've just used some EQ to do some frequency cuts on the bottom, but it lets you show what you've got on here. So if I go to this one here now and add a different effect, let's just add another EQ. So if I add this EQ, you can see on the effects rack down here, actually if I maximize that for you, I'll maximize that, you should be able to see here on the bottom we got Fab Filter Pro there. Just minimize this back down. But yeah, the way you get into that is you just click over here in the view. At the moment I just had it on compact 2 so you guys could see you know, how the mixer channels I'm using. You don't see a lot of change on the mixer. As I've said before, I make a lot of changes to audio in the beat sequencer. So I set all my levels what I can there, and then I'll raise them up on the master channel, and then I'll lower things that I need to in the mixer. That's a bit more fine tweaking, I find. But yeah. might show you another one that I'm working on, seeing as a major failure with the knowing the screen. Okay, let's load it up. Let's see if that one works. So as before, any beats that I make on here that you listen to will be available on our Feel 4 channel, and you'll be able to download them. When I say free, you'll be able to use them for non-profit. But if you do like it and you want to have an exclusive license, I'm sure we can come to an arrangement. But I just want to say thanks again for watching, and see you on the next one.